Okay, so since a lot of you guys in the past videos have been asking me how do I make my animations and what kind of applications I've been using to do them. So today, I am going to answer all of those questions. So buckle up because it's time to animate with AnimeShawnn. Okay, so a lot of you have been asking what kind of animation application I have been using for my work, and the answer is that the application that I've been using is the Rough Animator. As you can see here in the screen, this is the layout of the Rough Animator. As you can see here at the top, this is the animation timeline. This is where you adjust the timings and how many frames you need to hold for your animations. You can see it up here. And here in the left side, you can see the brushes, the eraser, the bucket, and also the lasso tool. And this in the center here is our canvas. So this is where the space where you will draw your animation. So this is a sample of my work. So as you can see here, yeah, so this is what this is the animation software that I've been using for my animations. Okay, so now let's head to our animation process. So this is how I make my animations. So first I made a very simple graph on how I make it. So first, as you can see, the first thing we have to do is to make a first pose. So let's make this an example, this circle. I want this circle to move from here to here. So first we have to make the first pose he needs to do, and then we will go to the last pose. I will draw the last pose, so I will know where he will go, and I can adjust from there. Next we will do is the in-between, which is between those two poses. So obviously it is called in-betweening. So we will put a circle here in the middle. And next, the final thing that I will do is to add a very small movement here at the first and also at the last post. So let's go to the animation process. Okay, now so when we transfer it to our animation app, right now I'm not using Rough Animator because I am recording, so I'm using the XP Pen, and we're using Krita. So if you want to have an animation in your laptop, you can use Krita or like Clip Studio Paint, whichever you're good at. So now this is where this is the first pose that I told you. So here is the circle. This is our first pose, and now I want this circle to move over here at the end of the canvas. So this is our first pose, and this is our second pose, or our end pose. So now I know where the circle would go. So now we will do the in-betweening. So as you can see here in the low down here is the animation timeline. So we'll just put a in between here in the middle of those two poses. So I'm just gonna drag this. So I'm just gonna put it here. It depends on you where you want to put your in between. You can put it here or here. It depends on you. So I'm just gonna put it here, and I want it to more like that. So now we have our in between. So if we play that, so that's what happens. So you can see it's moving now because it already has the in between. So it feels like it's moving from here to here. Now, for the third part of my animation process is that we will do a very small movement here, like an anticipation movement before he goes from here to the middle and to the end. So we will add another frame here just before the first frame, and then we will do a very small movement, just like that. And also we will add that movement to the last part. So we will add a frame here, and just like so, we will add a very small movement there. So if we play that, as you can see, it's kind of a little choppy because of the spacing. So the spacing of animation is also so important, because the more you hold a frame, the more it will appear in the movement. So as you can see, the middle is very visible, and I want that to be quick because we're moving a fast pace here. So if you want to make a fast pace, you need to reduce the spacing, or you must reduce the hold of a frame. So as you can see, the middle or the in-between frame, it holds up to three frames here. So I'm just gonna adjust that and drag it there. So there will be no spacing for the middle, so it only takes one frame. So when we play that, it's kind of fast, no? So this is how I make my animations, and it depends on you. If you don't want like this a little choppy animation, you can add another frame and just in between. Just keep on doing the in-betweens until you get the smooth transition that you want. So we'll keep on, we'll try adding more frames in in-betweens. So we'll add, we will move this, we'll add another frame and move this. And we will squish it more. Like that. We'll move the frames. So when we play it, so the reason why it's kind of look like choppy animation because the frame rate that I'm using is 15 frames per second. So it also depends on the frame. So the less frames, the more slower the animation you get. But when you do a higher frame rate like 24, which is the standard frame for animation, you see, it's moving so fast. That is why I use 15 FPS because I like my animation look like a choppy animation. So this is the process I do in my animation. So you can use this process anywhere with any other applications in animation. So you can apply this principle of mine. So the first thing we have to do is do the first pose. Then we will go to the end pose. Then we will do the in between, and then we will do a very small movement on the first and the last frame, and then you get animation. Yes, so this is how I make my animations, guys. So that's all for today for my animation tutorial, and I hope you will stick around for we will do a full animation process of Powers Part 3 in my next video. So thank you guys for watching and see you guys on the next one. Peace!